Greetings, my beautiful people. Hey, I have a lot to talk about. I have been MIA for a while. No, you was getting dirt on me. I've been MIA for a while, and I just been really tapping into myself. Yeah, I've been having to tap into myself and do my inner work, inner peace, and healing, and so many changes and challenges have been happening. And before I go into deep, those that are new to my channel, this is Aligning with Lee, and where I basically am having a conversation with you as I'm having a conversation with me, and it's all about spirituality, self-love, basically walking into your healing journey, walking into your new path. And like and comment and subscribe. All right, so let's get into this. So I'm currently in Georgia, and I've been in Louisiana for a while now. I've had to transition and come to Georgia and do some work for a little bit, which I'm embracing. I'm so embracing this path. And I want to talk about when life challenges, and how when we going through life challenges, we have to be in the space to embrace it, y'all. We really still have to be able to embrace the changes that is happening, because even though I wasn't ready to leave Louisiana yet, Spirit told me it was time. Hey, it was time to leave. And it was not saying that this is going to be a permanent thing. It wasn't saying that this is over for me. It just was like, I'm needed here. And those that have been really following me and paying attention to me, I do everything spiritually led. And even when I'm having these conversations with y'all, I come on when I'm spiritually guided to come on and talk to y'all. I know I had to do a lot of transitioning, and one of them was I always had 2 dogs. Now I'm down to 1. My oldest dog, Cody, passed away. So I don't want to get emotional. So yeah, that caused me to take a break. It caused me to do some healing and to deal with my grief, because that was my son. That was my baby boy. I had him for 15 years. He's been through so many transitions with me. He's been through so many things with me, and I'm having a moment, y'all. I'm having a moment. I got him cremated. I still have his ashes, which I already said I was going to do when it was his time to transition, was get his ashes. Originally was to put his ashes in a bracelet. I was going through so much grief at the moment of making a decision when it had to happen, because it no matter how much you're prepared for someone that's going to die, you're really not prepared. Mentally, I already knew. Physically and spiritually, I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know when it was going to happen. And I always told myself, matter of fact, I planned it out 2 years prior. I said, whenever this happened, I'm going to get him cremated so I could always have him with me. And that space alone was just so emotional. This is the first, I came here and talking about one thing, but then now I'm talking about grief, and I think that's what is more needed to talk about when it comes to grief. Give yourself that space needed to really, really heal in that moment, to really process in that moment, to really be in a space to know that I'm going to be okay if I'm surrounded by the right people. So by me being surrounded by the right people, by Melanie, my other dog, being surrounded by her cousin dogs, if the transition of the loss has been really, really helpful for us. So I think if I was alone, I don't even know I don't even want to know what space I will be in right now. I don't even want to feel that space, because I'm grateful that I'm not in that space. I'm grateful that I was around family. I'm grateful that Melanie was around family. I'm grateful that we were in a space around loved ones when it happened, so we was able to grieve properly versus grieving by ourselves. And I know if that would have happened, we both would have just probably fell in a dark space, y'all. We probably would have fell in a dark space. And when you're going through a grief of a close loved one, a close family friend, someone that's really significant and meaningful in your life, then really having that support is so important. Really having those people to embrace you during the space, to embrace you during that need, because you really don't even know what you need in that moment. No matter how much someone's like, well, you need anything? Can I help you with anything? And I'm like, no, because I did not know what I needed. I did not know what I should be doing. Honestly, I just wanted to lay there, and I just wanted to lay in the bed. Like the next day after it happened, I didn't want to get out of the bed at all. And they was like, you need to eat, you need to get up. And I just was like, I'm fine. I just want to be here and be in this space. And honestly, I needed that for my grief, for my healing, and to get myself, I had to create that space for me. I had to create that space for Melanie as well, because dogs grieve just as well as humans grieve. So I had to even let her know that and show her Cody is no longer with us, and he died in my arms, y'all. Like, I knew something was going to happen because he was not eating. He didn't eat from Tuesday to Saturday and died that Saturday evening. He rarely was drinking anything. And I called the vet, and they was like, well, we'll just give him boiled chicken. I'm like, well, I already cooked my dog's food anyway. They eat. It's crazy because being as though I'm vegan, plant-based, I eat certain things, and I have to make sure what my dogs is eating is good for them as well. So I was looking at a lot of the ingredients in dog food and seeing that I don't even know how to pronounce this shit. So I started cooking that food probably the beginning of the year. I started cooking that food, getting them turkey necks, boiling that chicken, rice, sweet potatoes, carrots, peas, string beans, blueberries, apples, and I would switch it up. And then I started giving them like scrambled eggs for breakfast and stuff like that. And it's like, if I'm intentional about my diet, I want to be intentional about theirs. So, and he enjoyed the food. He would always eat, always go to the bathroom. But when he was not going to the bathroom, was not eating, I already was heartbroken. And then at the same time, I had events I had to go do. So I felt bad to leave out the house and leave him in the house by themselves. But this particular Saturday, I was still in an event, but it was virtually, that I had to speak at. And that whole time, he just was whining and whining and whining. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on with him? Maybe he's in pain. So during the break of the webinar, I usually give him black seed oil to help with the pain, but he didn't have any more, which I was so hurt about that. He ran out literally that day before. So I said, well, let me go to Petco and get him some pain medicine. I went to Petco, got him the pain medicine. I gave it to him. He threw it back up. And when I say literally 2 hours later, I just was like, let me pick him up. I was crying and holding him, and I told him, I said, it's okay. It's okay, Cody, if you're ready. I love you, Cody. I love you. I told him I love you. It's okay. Me and Marlene gonna be okay. I thanked him for the years he gave me. I thanked him for being there for me for so long, no matter what. He was always there. And it's like, no matter, at the end of the day, it was always me and Cody for years, for years. 'Cause even when my older children left the home, I still had him. I still had my baby. I still had Cody with me. And yeah, I just was holding him and being in a space of gratitude, giving him thanks for giving me his life that he gave me, for the moments he shared with me. I was being so grateful for that. And then he passed away. He took his last breath in my arms, y'all. And literally I literally felt his soul leave his body. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's gone. Even though I felt his soul release and leave, I knew he was gone. At the same time, he was not suffering. He was not in no pain no more. And he knew that I was okay with him leaving now. He had a birthday in May, and when his birthday came in May, you know, I celebrated him, and I told him, give me 2 more years, just give me 2 more years, I'm not ready for you to leave. And that's because part of me knew he was going to leave soon. Part of me knew he was going to leave soon, and oh gosh. So I just want to say this. Give yourself that space when you're grieving. And a grief don't necessarily have to be a death. It could be a relationship is ending. It could be a place that you've been connected to for so long. It's time to change. It could be letting go of a thing that you've been holding on to or may lost. You still will grieve through that process, and just know that to give yourself that space needed for that process, needed for that moment. And love on yourself in that process as well. Still nurture you and make sure that you are not going into a space where you're not opening up to others. By me sharing this video, it's me being vulnerable. It's me really opening up. And this is what was needed to talk about. It was to talk about grief, whether it is actually the death of someone, a person, a place, or a thing, or the ending of someone, a person, place, or a thing. And the ending don't necessarily mean it's the end. It could mean it's the transition to a new beginning. Yes, Cody gave me 15 amazing years. Some was challenging, some was rough, some was, rough. Some was joyous. And I embraced every moment I shared. At the same time, I knew and I know it was time for a transition. And as much as I loved on Cody and showed him, shared him so many things, because that was my travel buddy. I have a new travel buddy, Marlene, and I have to give her just as much affection and as much love. And since that happened, she is constantly wanting to be up under me, constantly wanting me to hold her, and she was a protector of him no matter what, because he was blind. So when we would travel and go places, especially at the airport, if somebody come near him, she is barking. And she's a dog where I could take her anywhere around crowds and anything. They won't even know she's there. But when it came to Cody, she was protective of him. When I took them to get their spa days and grooming, she was very protective of him and everything about it. So she was grieving as well. And so now it's like she stay up under me, stay in my face, want me to hold her and all that. So just know that if you have that support, you have that person or even your animal, your pet, your furry baby, embrace them and know that the ending of life, the ending of a place, the ending of a thing is not necessary to end. It's the beginning of your new transformation. It's the beginning of what's happening ahead and what's about to come. That layer of you had to shed away and come off of you so that you can make room for what's new. Thank y'all so much for listening and allowing me to be so vulnerable with you all. Thank you so much. Feel free to comment and share this with whomever may need to hear this story. I look forward to talking to you all again. And as always, have peace in your mind, love in your heart, happiness in your soul. Namaste. Till next time, my beautiful friends.